is up, guys? It's DFO here, also known as Debatable Football Opinions on Instagram. I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be doing something very special. About a few days ago, I asked you guys on my story if you guys would like to see how I would line up my Juventus 2021, and a lot of you guys wanted to see it. A lot of you guys said yes, so here it is. Here's the video. We're going to be building how I want my Juventus to look like for the 2021 season that's coming up. Now, it's currently August 24, so far we haven't made any signings other than, you know, Arthur from that Pjanic swap or Kulusevski. We've also gotten rid of Pjanic and we've gotten rid of Matuidi. So this is how things are going to work out. I'm going to put the players that I still want at Juventus, like the players that we already have. I'm going to put them in the lineup, and then we'll go over what players I want to sign and what players I want to sell. A little disclaimer before I start doing this, I just want to let you guys know that I'm going to try to stay as realistic as possible. Obviously, if you gave me the chance to sign as many players as I wanted, I would definitely put Cristiano up there with Messi, Lewandowski, De Bruyne behind them, Neymar on the bench, you know, things like that. Like, you know, I would go crazy. I would just slap Prime Maradona in here, cut his belly, and just put him in the heart of the pitch. But obviously, that's not realistic at all. So what we're going to try and do, we're going to try to sell and buy players as realistic as possible. So I'm not going to go crazy and do all that crap, okay? So why don't we start off from the back, and we're gonna start off with the players that we already have in the team and that I want to see stay at Juventus for another year. Starting off with the goalkeeper, Szczesny. For those of you who have already seen my Juventus tier list video, you guys know which players I rate highly and which players I don't rate at all. So it's no surprise that I rate Szczesny highly. I love him as a goalkeeper. I still think he's one of the best goalkeepers in the league and one of the most underrated in the whole world. So I definitely want him to stay there. He still has a lot of years to give a lot of things to offer for the team. So I definitely want him in there. And since we're speaking about goalkeepers, I would also like to add Buffon to our bench. Buffon is just a great presence in the team, so I don't want to see him leave the team ever again. Moving on to the center backs, I'm not really going to sign anybody because we already have all the players that I want at the center back position in our team. Starting off with Chiellini, of course. He's gotten injured for a whole season basically, and it might be kind of a risky one to start him as he's an aging center back. I still think he can definitely give out a lot of what he's got. He's a great defender still, and he's just the leader of the team, the captain, and you just gain a lot of those factors just by starting him in the pitch and just by having him in the locker room. So I definitely want him to play along with the lead. So the lead had a shaky start on the season, but he developed enough to be one of the best center backs in Serie A. Honestly, I think he performed better than Bonucci. Bonucci was starting to be kind of shaky. Again, he's also an aging defender, and I'm not as confident with Bonucci at the back. But if I had the choice to start Chiellini with the lead 100% fit, I would definitely do that. So my two starting center back choices will be Chiellini and the lead. And speaking of other center backs, we're gonna put Bonucci in the bench because I still think he has so much experience in this team and as a player, and I don't want to see him leave. And we obviously have to talk about Demiral. Demiral is such an amazing player, and the few chances that he's been given to play, he completely killed it, and he is still very young. He's still 22, and he can definitely give out a lot throughout the years. And when Chiellini and Bonucci eventually leave or retire, I know that the lead and Demiral will be our amazing duo that will overtake them as the years go by. So I definitely want him in the bench, developing as a player and giving him playtime as the time goes on. Anyways, let's start making changes because all these players, we already had them in the team. So let's bring new people. Now we have the fullbacks, and you guys know that that's a big problem for Juventus. For those of you who watch my videos, or for those of you who watch Juventus, you guys know that I am not happy with the fullbacks. Now Alexandro's a big problem. He's already 30. He's aging. He looked very good about 3 seasons ago when he was getting compared to the likes of Marcelo because, you know, Brazilian left back, they kind of had the same play style. But as the seasons went by after that, he's just been declining for, like, I don't know, maybe the past 2-3 seasons. He hasn't lived up to that potential. We never bought Marcelo when he was linked to us, so we stayed with Alexandro, and he's just been a declining left back. He's not great at attacking. He's not great at defending. He doesn't have much to offer, and seeing as he's 30, I would like for us to get rid of him as soon as possible. Don't let him stay on the pitch for another year, and definitely don't start him. So that's the first player that I would get rid of. Alexandro, I would sell him. So that means we need a new left back, and there's a certain left back that is wanted by Chelsea. Tagliafico is the best pick for us. He's been killing it at Ajax for the last couple seasons. Ajax had that amazing UCL run last year, and after they had that, I thought Tagliafico would leave the team along with the lead and De Jong and a couple others, but he remained at Ajax. So now he's linked to leave on the summer. He's linked to Chelsea, and I think we can definitely swoop in and take him before Chelsea do. I think he's a magnificent left back going front, and he's also pretty decent in the back. He has enough individualism to decide certain plays by himself. He would definitely be a great addition and would help us a lot in a lot of different areas. Not to mention, I think he would connect with Cristiano and the others pretty well. So that would be my first signing, Tagliafico. I think it's just a matter of money because I think Higuain, if he stays or not, Bentancur, Dybala can definitely kind of persuade him to bring him in. I know Dybala and Higuain already know him from the national team. They're pretty close to each other, so maybe that could be a factor into bringing him. Other than that, it's just a matter of money, really. But I think we should definitely splash big on Tagliafico because he's at a perfect age. He's at a perfect time of his career to join us. Moving on to the right back, before I choose who our main right back will be, I think it's time to move Cuadrado to the bench. So Cuadrado's gonna go to the bench. I think Cuadrado's decent enough. I rate him higher than Alexandro. I think Alexandro's a mess in a lot of different areas, and I think Cuadrado's actually pretty decent at what he does, even though he's not a natural right back. But I don't think he's good enough to start. I think he would be a great super sub if we were to put him up as a winger once again, or maybe as a right mid, right wing back sort of thing. He could definitely do it all in the wing. But yeah, he would work very well as a super sub sort of thing. Now that means we would need a right back. This is the thing. I've mentioned before that generational right backs are so hard to come by. You only get a handful of world-class right backs in each generation. It's so hard to get an actual young fullback who will be your starting fullback for a decade plus and have them perform for years and years. Now here's the thing, imagine having a fullback that had potential to be world class and we got rid of him. How stupid does that sound? Very stupid. I'm of course talking about Cancelo. When he got sold to Man City, I thought I read some reports and sources that said that he got sold because of attitude reasons, right? So now that the season's over and we need a new right back, I looked up those reports again about his attitude reasons, whatever, and I can't seem to find anything. So I'm starting to think that I dreamt it, and if I did dream it, then that just means the Juventus board is stupid as heck. Because come on, why are you getting rid of Cancelo? I can't begin to think of a single explanation for this, and just let alone the fact that we brought Danilo, who's also very horrible and I think we should sell. It just doesn't really make sense. Now Cancelo hasn't had the best year at Man City. He's been kind of struggling to find game time, and he's been kind of struggling as well to kind of fit into that Guardiola playstyle. He hasn't been playing much, so maybe he's looking for a way back home. Maybe he's looking to come back and prove that he still got what it takes to be a starter at a top club in Europe. I really loved him last year before he left. His connection with Cristiano was great. He was the only fullback in our team that was able to cross a ball. We haven't had a great fullback ever since he left for a long time. So I would definitely bring him in. I would start Operation Bring Back Cancelo definitely as soon as possible. I don't know how he would feel about returning, but it would definitely be worth the risk. All right, well, there is the back line and the goalkeeper, as well as some players on the bench. We're gonna move on to the center mid position, and I don't really have to do much because I have to add right here. I have to add Bentancur. I'm gonna put him in there because, well, he's our best midfielder, and now that Pjanic is gone, he is our best pick for the best midfielder in the team, and hopefully he has the season as good as the one he had in this 19-20 season. Other than that, we're also gonna have to put Arthur in here. Why? Because I've seen him play in Barca, and he was such a great player at one point, and I still think he can come back stronger than ever at Juventus. So I'm going to put him in there. Hopefully he can gain his starting position as soon as possible. That means I would sell the likes of Khedira. Matuidi's gone, Pjanic is gone. Now there's another center mid right here that has kind of gained his place as a starter in the second half of the season. I'm talking about Rabiot, but I'm actually going to put someone else as our starting center mid. So I'm going to put Rabiot in the bench. Now, like I said, Rabiot was a great player in the final third of the season, sort of, and he kind of gained his spot, but I think it's going to take a lot more than that to kind of start at Juventus for a whole season and be our starter center mid. So that leaves room for somebody else. Honorable mention, Milinkovic-Savic got linked to us last season, and he's also getting linked to us now, but I think the board, the Lazio board and the president just kind of overpriced him. Like, I think we would have to pay like 130 million for him. Maybe his price might have gone down now. Maybe we have to pay 100 million with this whole Corona prices thing. I think it's still a lot of money, and I think he's a great player, don't get me wrong, and I would love to have him, but not if it takes us 110 million to sign a player like this. Hey Siri, how old is Milinkovic-Savic?
Sergei Milinkovic-Savic is 25.
Okay, maybe it would be worth it because he's so young, but like I said, if we're keeping it realistic, I don't think the Juve board would sign him for 110 million or maybe even more. He's a player that already knows the league's tempo and how the league works, and I think he would fit at Juventus very, very fast. He's definitely made a name for himself over the last couple seasons, but like I said, I don't think the Juve board would sign him for 110 million, so we're gonna bring in somebody else, much cheaper and much younger. Now, I don't know much about this player because I don't watch League On, but he got linked to us a few weeks ago, and when I heard that from my Juventus friends, I started watching him, some highlights of him. I know that doesn't add up too much because it's just highlights, but I watch his UCL games, and man, he's actually pretty good. I'm talking about Aouar, okay? Aouar is amazing. From the little I've seen of him, I've seen his UCL matches. I've seen a little bit of his highlights and how he dominates the midfield. He would be a great addition. He's very young, and from the little I've seen of him, he seems like he would be a great fit at Juventus. I don't have much to say about him since, like I said, I don't watch a lot of Ligue 1, and I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you about how great this player is. But seeing as he's already linked to us, seeing as it wouldn't be as expensive as Milinkovic-Savic, and seeing as he's 22, 23, I would definitely bring him in. Okay, before we move up to the attacking, we have to talk about Ramsey. Ramsey is a player that hasn't really fit at Juventus, and seeing as we only have 2 more spots for the bench, I will move in the reserves because I don't know what I would do with him, really. I think the Juve board might sell him because he's kind of an injury-prone player. He hasn't gotten a lot of chances to kind of perform like Rabiot has, and I think we might just sell him because of his lack of game time and all the injuries. Now, I'm unsure as to what I would do, so I'm not going to sell him or I'm not going to keep him. So I'm just going to leave him in the reserves and we're just going to leave it like that, okay? Well, we're going to move on to the attacking, and before we move on to the attacking, I want to say that Higuain and Douglas Costa would be the 2 players that I would say goodbye to. Higuain, because, well, he's already old and he doesn't seem to bring in anything to the table anymore. And I think it's completely fair that we sell him, okay? I wanted him to stay last season when he was also going to be sold, and he stayed, and I thought he was going to prove his haters wrong, but no. He doesn't have a lot to offer for the team anymore. As much as I love him as a player, Higuain's just not fit enough to play for Juventus anymore. He was a great player at his day, but not anymore, so I would sell him. Now, Douglas Costa is a great player, such a game changer, would definitely start for so many top teams in Europe when fully fit, but that's the thing, he's never fully fit. There's always a season where there's a huge injury for him or maybe a bunch of minor ones, so he's never given the chance to show us what he's got because, well, the injuries just kind of get in the way, and he's just too injury prone for this team, and I don't want him in the team. I love him as a player, and I think we got so lucky to have him at such a cheap price, but, well, like I said, he's injury prone, so I don't want him in the team. I don't think he adds much in the in the hospital, so he's a player that I'm gonna get rid of. Okay, so I have to add 2 players right here, and they're pretty obvious. Okay, first of all, Dybala goes in there, and obviously Ronaldo. All right, well, there you guys have it. We only have to add 1 player and 2 players in the bench. This is what I would do. We have 2 players who are already part of the team. We have Bernardeschi, and then we have the new signing Kulusevski. Now, starting off with Bernardeschi, I already gave him a lot of crap during the whole season. I rated him pretty low, but I think somebody else is to blame more than he is. Sorry, played him at center attacking mid, and he's the reason why Bernardeschi had a pretty bad season, right? He was one of our worst players in the beginning. He kind of landed on his feet at the end, but not entirely. He's still pretty average. So for that reason, I definitely think he shouldn't start at all. And I'm not even sure if he's good enough for the bench. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him in the reserves because I have another right wing who is a lot better than him. So I'm going to put him in the reserves. Not sure what I would do with him if I had the chance. I don't know if he's going to be sold. I don't know if he's going to be given another chance. Not sure what Pirlo has planned, but I'm going to put him in there because the right wing that we have, Kulusevski, is a much better pick. We signed this guy from Parma. He had the season of his life. He's one of the best youngsters in the league, along with Tonali, and he's an absolute beast. I can't wait to see what he's going to do in this upcoming season. He's one of the most exciting to see prospects in the whole league. So just because he's still very young, I'm not going to put him in the starting 11 right away because the pick that I have for striker and for the other bench are slightly better than him. But I'm going to put him in the bench and hopefully let him develop for him to make his way into the starting 11 eventually. That leaves room for 2 more players, 1 person in the bench and 1 person as a striker along with Cristiano and Dybala. Now, I'm going to start off with a striker. There's been reports that Ronaldo has asked the Juventus board to buy a new striker, a world-class striker, somebody who will make a difference. And seeing as we're letting Higuain go, there's a certain striker that plays in the Premier League that is probably looking for a new team. I'm talking about Raul Jimenez. This guy's a complete beast. He just had the season of his life in Wolves, and he might be looking to move to a bigger team, to a top team in Europe before the end of his career. He's already 29, I believe he's close to 30, and you might be thinking he's too old for us, especially seeing as we're also linked to getting Milik and Checo, but Jimenez is in his prime of his career and we need short-term answers. We shouldn't really be signing players just based on a long-term plan. We need people who will give us results right away, and I think that's exactly what Jimenez could do. I think he would fit right away with Dybala and Ronaldo, and this trio would be incredible. Sure, Milik and Checo are also great players and they're great possible signings, but if you gave me to choose between them or Jimenez, I would choose Jimenez in a heartbeat. So there's my starting 11, and that just leaves 1 person in the bench, and this is probably the most interesting pick and one that could help us out a lot based on how versatile he is. It's a player that already plays in Serie A, and he's been getting linked to us for quite a while, even though there's also been reports that his loyalties lie in Rome, but I'm going to take the risk and get Zaniolo. Now, this guy is an absolute beast. He's very young as well, very young. He's been killing it at Roma, but here's the thing. Okay, I know that right here says he plays center mid, which he does. But this is the thing. This guy also plays on the right wing. He can play center forward, cam, kind of like Dybala, and hell, even striker. This guy's an absolute beast, and he can play in so many positions that it makes the job so much easier. Look, for example, this is what I have in mind. Say Jimenez doesn't perform right away. You know, it's a new league, it's a new team, different play style. So say he doesn't perform right away and he doesn't start for Juventus in the first few games, right? Well, you give Zaniolo a try. Then you put Zaniolo up here. You play him as striker along with Ronaldo and Dybala behind him. What is that? You want Dybala to be up front and Zaniolo as the center attacking mid? Hell yeah, do that. You can put Zaniolo back here. Dybala and Ronaldo up top and Zaniolo behind them. What is that? You want to play a 4-3-3? Then Zaniolo and Dybala can both play in the right wing. Zaniolo has a lot more experience in the right wing than Dybala, so you can obviously do that. You want Dybala to drop back a bit? Okay, well, do a 4-3 where he's a center forward and then have Ronaldo and Zaniolo make your runs up front. What is that? You want Cristiano to be the sole striker and Zaniolo and Dybala to be behind him to create play? You can put them anywhere in the pitch. You can do whatever the heck you want with these three and it'll definitely work out. All three of them know how the league plays out already. They've been playing in Serie A for a while now, and I think them three would absolutely kill it in this upcoming season. But yeah, this three would kill it. This three would absolutely kill it as well. And the backline looks gorgeous. With Chesney, man, this team, I'm looking at it overall, and this team would create so many chances and kill so many teams. And looking at the bench, we're not looking bad either. But anyways, guys, this is how the team would look if I had the chance to build the whole team. This is how Juventus 2021 would look. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what Pirlo does for the team and how he builds everything. But anyways, you guys asked for it, and here is my team. If you agree or disagree with any of my picks, and if you have picks of your own that I did not mention, then let me know down in the comments. If you made it to the end of this video, leave a like and share it with a friend who might enjoy this kind of content. And as always, I will see you guys next time I release a video. Thanks for watching, and cheers.